recently watched the newest season of Black Mirror, my favorite anthology series. I'll be going over my thoughts on all 6 episodes one by one, but before I do that, I will say I think this season is an improvement over the previous, especially since this season's predecessor had episodes that didn't have anything to do with technology. Probably the most draconian episode of the season. It's not unreal for there to be a medical breakthrough, but to have it be inaccessible due to the large monetary costs involved. Sure, money is nice, and nice things can be acquired with it, but it could never come before the well-being of someone. It's also possible that this is meant to be an allegory for streaming services, seeing as Rivermind has different tiers much like a streaming service does. I never thought I'd see the Mandela effect explored in this much detail. For those who don't know, the Mandela effect is a phenomenon consisting of widely held misconceptions. It gets its name from a good number of people thinking South African President Nelson Mandela died in the 80s, when he actually died in 2013. Examples include Berenstain being spelled Berenstein, the Flint Stones being the Flynn Stones, and the Monopoly Man having a monocle, which he never did. Some believe the Mandela effect serves as evidence for alternate universes. The device doesn't change reality, but sends the user to one that meets the given conditions, fitting the themes of the episode. My mom really got into the music duo Big Special, whose song Shithouse is what plays during the credits of this episode, so much so that she'd like to see them live. I checked their schedule and found they are only touring in Europe, primarily the United Kingdom. I have them on my bands in town list, so I'll be notified when a show they'll be performing will be coming to Seattle or nearby. If either of the members of Big Special are watching this, please come to the Pacific Northwest. You'll make my mother very happy if you did. Of the episodes this season, I'd say this would have to be the weakest. I'm all for introducing audiences to older movies, but this is not the way to do it. Having a current actor replace one of the original actors is an insult to the latter. I also believe a movie should only be remade if it was once considered good and hasn't aged well, or was wasted potential. If a movie is going to have that many changes to the plot, it should be remade from scratch rather than using the original as a source. I also thought it was dumb of Brandy to fall in love with Dorothy, as the latter is nothing more than a digital recreation of a late movie actress that cannot exist in the real world. I love video games, so I appreciate when they are a topic in other forms of media. While not a direct sequel, this does share the same setting as the interactive episode Bandersnatch, even having 2 of the characters from that. By the way, it can no longer be played. There's quite a bit of ambiguity in this episode, given that Cameron can only speak to the throng while under influence of LSD, and we don't get to see the results of the signal after being broadcast. I can't say for certain what this episode is trying to say, and after some more thought, I find it hard to believe there would be a self-aware AI in 1994 considering the limitations of the time. This might just be the saddest episode of Black Mirror, yet also my favorite of this season. Eulogy puts the viewer in the shoes of Philip as he is tasked with remembering an ex of his, Carol, who recently passed away, and we know almost as much as he does since she was someone he purposely tried to forget. We learn how they got together, what caused them to split, and a revelation that changes everything. Here's something I never thought we would get: a sequel to a previous episode. While it is long for an episode of Black Mirror, running for an hour and a half, I didn't feel any of the time used was padding. Between this and Plaything, this is definitely the stronger of the 2 episodes this season that explore video games. The lengths one will go to survive, especially knowing they need things more than others, is certainly an intriguing notion. The episode further expands on the idea of cloning and how they exist to be slaves, which is especially true of Robert Daly's clone. While he is the one responsible for the designing of the game, He's trapped with absolutely no company whatsoever. And those are my thoughts of each episode of Black Mirror Season 7. Let me know what your favorite episode of this season is, or what your favorite episode of Black Mirror is down in the comments. I couldn't tell you what mine is, as they all explore different aspects of technology in thought provoking and sometimes frightening ways.